fellow Marks, and welcome to another edition of the Remark, the show that updates once for every match that Bray Wyatt wins. Pretty intermittent, and it leaves everyone with false hope. My name's Martin, and yes, due to a series of fantastic events, my accent is back. What made this happen, you ask? Well, it's a very interesting story. Oh my god, look up there, a huge distracting thing!
It's me. I'm up here.
Hot off the heels of Extreme Rules, where the most extreme thing that happened all night was Finn Balor getting extremely close to being fired for punting Roman's head clean off his shoulders, this episode of Raw starts off by reminding us that Samoa Joe is now the #1 contender for the Universal title, which I can only assume is part of some massive hazing ritual to see if Joe can spend a whole month saying the word Great Balls of Fire while keeping a straight face.
And live on pay-per-view at Great Balls of Fire.
Crazy motherfucker might just pull it off. Yes, former TNA main eventer and first ever two-time NXT champion Samoa Joe has a lot of momentum and fan support going into his fight against Brock Lesnar, as fans have often wondered what a wrestling match between these two heavy-hitting behemoths would look like. And given Brock Lesnar's track record as of late, chances are that after their match at the Raw pay-per-view, fans will still be wondering what a wrestling match between these two would look like. Speaking of soul-crushing disappointment, Bray Wyatt comes out at the top end of Raw for a match against Roman Reigns. Michael Cole is kind enough to do a voicemail message for a couple of flying cartoon insects while Bray comes to the ring.
The fireflies are out!
Yes, Bray Wyatt's entrance is one of the few things capable of draining more collective iPhone batteries than about 5 minutes of playing Pokemon Go on just one of them. Michael Cole shares a little too much.
I still have images, Corey, of Bray Wyatt laid out on the announce table.
Could be worse, he could have said that he had the whole world in his hands at the time. Booker hypes up Bray's imminent confrontation with the big dog.
No other sport that you're gonna see two men battle like you're gonna see them battle tonight after coming off of what we saw last night at Extreme Rules. Only the WWE superstar guys.
Ignoring the fact that there are plenty of other sports where you're going to see two guys go at it in dramatic fashion, I really enjoy Booker's evolution of the term WWE superstars into WWE Superstar Guys. Why not make it even less confusing and rebrand the whole product like that? Be sure to tune in to WWE TV program and watch WWE Superstar Guys do WWE fighting stuff. So long as you don't use the term professional wrestling, that would just feel very out of place on a professional wrestling product. Let's see if Bray can get more than 2 sentences into his promo before it devolves into pseudo-poetic nonsense.
Last night was the beginning.
Looking good so far, Bray. Just try to string that thought into something coherent and sensical and something that's not at all vague or...
The beginning of the end.
So close. Bray says he lost his opportunity to slay the beast after failing to win at Extreme Rules.
But instead of arming me with my sword, they took it from me and they struck it right into my eye.
No, not into Maya! Hope she feels better. Bray doesn't consider his 27th consecutive loss in a row to be a setback.
And I am still every bit of the god that I have always been.
Yeah, you might scoff at what Bray is saying, but in actuality, much like God, he is a prominent part of the Bible. There's a whole section committed to him. I believe it's called the Book of Job.
That is why I'm here tonight, to cast judgment on all of those who are guilty.
Wait, hold on. First Maya's involved and now you're judging the guilty? Or now you're just forcing me to start fan casting the Phoenix Wright games with WWE superstars. Beth Phoenix as Phoenix, Edge as Edgeworth, I mean they are fucking, Francesca as Franziska, and Roman Reigns as the Parrot. You know, because of his limited mic skills. I just want to see Roman Reigns as a parrot, okay?
Finn Balor is guilty
of leaving his Legos on the floor for just about anybody to come in and step on them. I mean, clean up your mess, Finn.
Samoa Joe is guilty
But there's a 33 1/3% chance of him getting off with a warning.
Seth Rollins is guilty.
Which becomes harder to prove when Seth pleadings ends up rolling the fifth.
And last but not least, of course, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is guilty.
The crowd wasn't booing him right there. Instead, they were just saying, proof, because without that you can't convict him of anything. Bray accidentally starts reading from the minutes from the last WWE creative meeting where Vince McMahon addressed the fans' increasing negativity.
I have made a vow that one by one they must all be punished.
Roman Reigns' theme music interrupts Bray mid-verdict, which, as in keeping with America's legal system, renders the case a mistrial and all charges against Roman are thrown out. The fans alternate between chanting "Let's go Roman" and "Roman sucks," and Roman explains that that is why he's the guy. Oh, so that's what it is. You're the guy in the WWE if people under the age of 15 like you and all the adults hate you. Other candidates for the guy are Fred Figglehorn, Snow, and Fart Jokes. Fart Jokes actually are also the guy in WWE. It's a title Roman has to share.
Oh, Reigns wasted little time with a straight right hand. Market his territory.
Thanks, Michael Cole. Now we all have the image of Roman Reigns walking up to the ring posts on all fours and marking his territory. I hope he didn't cock his leg before cocking his leg. Bray and Roman face each other one-on-one, and the announce team insists that in order to get back on track, both these superstars must forget what happened less than 24 hours ago at Extreme Rules. Maybe it would help if they joined the WWE creative team. They seem to have a preternatural ability to forget what happened less than 24 hours ago on their own show. Booker T makes my brain do a spinneroonie.
Samoa Joe is the guy.
Adding it to the list. At numerous points throughout this match, Michael Cole refers to Roman Reigns as the man who perhaps may have retired The Undertaker.
The man who defeated The Undertaker and perhaps sent him into retirement at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns.
Yes, perhaps sent him into retirement. Just like we're perhaps supposed to like him and how he's perhaps the underdog trying to overcome the odds. Because, you know, obviously when something as momentous as retiring The Undertaker happens, it's a really good idea to be super vague and indecisive as to whether the man who beat him in his final match actually retired him. It's just not enough to have the retirement storyline be so underwhelming. You also have to remind everybody constantly that, gee, maybe it's kinda possible that Roman Reigns is the man who retired The Undertaker, even though we all saw it happen with our own eyes. It's up in the air somewhat. Gosh, I don't know. Really hammers home the enormity of that moment, making it confusing and ambiguous and all. Corey Graves shows his fellow announce team members his favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
I don't care how many times you've seen it, it still gets deep inside your mind.
Roman Reigns pins Bray Wyatt's shoulders to the mat while a referee counts to 3, and perhaps picks up the win.
Oh, you can't take anything away from Bray Wyatt.
Because he literally has nothing left to take. Samoa Joe got his picture taken doing an impression of a guy who just rushed all the way to catch the elevator and stopped it right as the doors started closing, and Kurt Angle calls the Bayley "This Is Your Life" segment one of the worst moments in the history of Raw. Which would be brilliant if they weren't also claiming that the 6-minute slaughter of Bayley's character from last night's pay-per-view was an amazing match. Imagine if any other show had a really shitty episode, and then the next week all the characters looked at the camera and said, "Boy, that was a shit episode, wasn't it? Now we're a good show because we acknowledged how shitty we are." Having said that, it probably would have made the last 4 seasons of Dexter somewhat tolerable. Samoa Joe does an impression of ECW's talent relations department. Later in the night, Big Cass is found unconscious backstage, having fainted from embarrassment after attempting to learn the actual spelling of the word soft. This forces Enzo to find a new tag partner for his match against the Club, which shouldn't be difficult given Enzo's magnetic personality and history of insulting people to their face for no reason and or trying to sleep with their wives. Okay, so maybe it's going to be a bit of a challenge.
As it appears, Han Solo is solo Fedolo.
Okay, I'm going to need a protocol droid to help me translate that one.
But everybody knows I'm a G. But what you might not know is I'm 4G.
Unreliable and spotty? You make people wish they had access to Wi-Fi so they didn't have to use you? You make stupid phone metaphors?
I'm well connected.
Ah, just like the WWE and its audience. Enzo reveals his tag partner, and it's
The Big Show!
I'm so glad that clip remains relevant all these years later. You have no idea. Makes me legitimately happy anytime I get to use it. Corey Graves gives props to Enzo on his choice of partner, and Booker T watches a scene from the timeless classic Doctor Strangelove.
But I guess credit where it's due for Enzo making a major league score here in the form of the world's largest athlete.
What a phone call.
Enzo and Big Show reenact the ending of The Wicker Man, with Big Show playing the titular character. Enzo's solo promo is so-so.
Listen, I can't lie, you're looking a little thin. Been carving up, you got energy for this? We need you, okay? But bottom line is, you're looking a little thin.
Much like my patience with this segment.
Are you joining 205 Live?
Hilarious as that joke about his weight loss is, if every episode of 205 Live ended with Big Show doing a 450 splash into the ring, which then exploded, it really would be the most exciting hour on TV that isn't on TV. Big Show's reaction to Enzo Amore's nonsense is all too realistic.
Hey, listen, something you should know about Zoe is I weigh 206, dog. You're in here with a heavyweight.
Enzo continues to say words.
You can wish in one hand, you can crap in the other, and see which one adds up more. But I didn't want to gamble, so no craps.
Speaking of wishing and crap, I wish I wasn't watching this crap.
I needed a certified G, as in a certified G-iant. And, neither one of us are certified G-enies.
This is the most depressing episode of Sesame Street I've ever seen, including the one where Mr. Hooper died. Big Show turns into a character from a 90s anime dub.
Well, all right, my friend, let me tell you something. I'm gonna loosen up, all right? You see, you, my friend, you and I are like two cartoon characters, all right? See, I'm like that cartoon character, that big woolly mammoth, right? I got that big beard, I'm all furry, right? I'm big.
Yes, you and Enzo are very much like the cast of Ice Age, in that you wore out your welcome about 6 or 7 years ago, but at least you're good at distracting small children.
You're like that little crazy squirrel, right? Running around all over the place, all bug-eyed and crazy, and he's looking for looking for that, what do you call it?
Nut?
Well, I was gonna say acorn, but hey, whatever works for you.
On second thoughts, Ice Age is too highbrow a comparison. You guys are more like the nut job. People were expecting you to be crap, but somehow you still managed to disappoint. Also, it's 2017 and you're still making childish dick jokes. Big Show attempts to break the record for most accents in a single sentence.
And as far as our opponents go tonight, there's only one word to describe them.
Big Show and Enzo take on the club in a rather perfunctory match, and Booker gives kudos to Big Show.
You got to give Big Show a lot of credit for coming out here and tagging with Enzo, because you got to know when you tag with Enzo, you're going to be doing a lot of the work.
And I've got to give credit to Michael Cole and Corey Graves, because when you're teaming with Booker T, you're going to be doing a lot of the work. Backstage, Big Cass bumps into the victorious pair and is highly suspicious of Big Show's sudden reappearance.
Funny. Yeah, you've been gone for a few weeks. The second Enzo needs a tag team partner. Boom. There you are.
And it's serious if Big Cass didn't make the time to say bada before the boom. Moving over to SmackDown, Shane McMahon stands with the participants of the upcoming first ever Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. A match that was booked seemingly arbitrarily and completely out of the blue with little to no build-up or reasoning. Oh no, that's just how Raw would have done it. SmackDown Live actually gave context and waited for the right moment to do it. Shane introduced introduces the women in the match.
Allow me to start to my left. She is a two-time superstar.
Oh, is Lita in the match as well? Oh, sorry, I misheard. You said two-time superstar. I thought you said two-timing superstar. Shane reveals the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, which was originally pitched by Vince McMahon as an enormous Chanel handbag with a chihuahua hanging out of it. When reminded that the Divas Revolution happened a few years back, Vince changed his mind. Shane describes the danger involved in this kind of match.
Every superstar that enters this type of match always leaves a piece of themselves, either physically or emotionally. There is great risk.
Yes, literally leave a piece of themselves, physically. Clearly referring to the time that Jack Swagger wanked himself off in the Money in the Bank match a few years ago, having totally misunderstood what kind of bank the title referred to. This is the reason why most people remember Jack Swagger's wrestling career as a bit of old wank. Shane explains the benefits of winning the Money in the Bank contract.
Because history will show whomever has cashed us in the past has gone on to become the champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, former WWE champion Damien Sandow. It's canon now, Shane said so. James Ellsworth chinsplains that there's no need for Shane to mansplain to them how the Money in the Bank ladder match works, and he passes the mic to Carmella so she can say,
"There's only gonna be one chick left standing at the top of that ladder, looking down at all of you stew nods."
Oh God. Oh God, no. Is this some hip young term that I'm not hip or young enough to be aware of? Yes, a quick Google search tells me that this gibberish phrase is indeed something that human beings are using in place of actual English. And it's slang for stupid people. You know, in my day we were content to just say idiots, or dumbasses, or that old chestnut. Wrestling fans. But no, stew nods. Guess I'd better start pretending that that is an effective insult. And I'd only just gotten good at pretending that cuck was. SmackDown Live Women's Champion Naomi comes out.
For SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi. Yeah, the object of everybody's abrasive affection here.
Well, the dictionary defines abrasive as polishing or cleaning a hard surface by rubbing or grinding. So yes, I can't speak for anyone else, but Naomi has definitely been the object of much of my abrasive affection. Naomi is excited for the Money in the Bank match.
You know, I just had to come out here and say, as much as I love being the SmackDown Women's Champion, I wish I could be in this match.
Oh, why? Because of its place in history? Because it's guaranteed to bring out the best in the competitors? Because you want to take every opportunity to showcase your talents?
Because I know it's about to be lit, y'all.
Oh. Well, yes, that makes perfect sense. It's going to be lit. Good, yes, I am totally down with all this new youngster slang that is being tossed around. You tell them, stew nods, Naomi. Naomi is interrupted by a debuting Lana, a female superstar that has been hyped for well over a month and has the entire crowd chanting, "We want Lana" at every available opportunity. She says she wants to be a part of the first ever Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which is admirable and ambitious and gets a huge positive response from the crowd. So how does a baby-faced Naomi, the representative of the SmackDown Live women's division and role model for girls everywhere, react? I'm sorry, it sounded a little bit like you were laughing derisively at the young lady who showed up and asked to have a chance to wrestle to prove she deserved a title shot. But that couldn't be what you... Oh no, yes, that's exactly what she was doing. Not unlike the time that the WWE Universe begged John Cena to give Daniel Bryan a title shot, and his response was something along the lines of... But I'm sure Naomi is quick to revert to a more stoic and serious demeanor, the kind that you would expect of a champion when faced...
Excuse me, what's so funny? Bugs Bunny?
Oh God, no. No. Don't look at me right now, please. Just give me a minute. I need a minute. Please just cut back to the footage, please.
You really think you can hang in this Money in the Bank ladder match?
Fuck you for thinking that you can do things.
I mean, no. I mean, for for real.
Oh, for real, for real? Okay, I thought it was just for real, but it turns out it's actually for real, for real. Now, if things were for real, for real, for real, that would be unreal.
Like, for real, for real. You haven't even had a singles match yet.
Woman comes out and asks for match. Woman is ridiculed by women's champion for not already having had a match. Woman does not get match. Just great storytelling on display right here.
Like, okay, who have you ever beaten? Don't worry, I'll wait.
You know, it's a good thing it's Naomi saying this and not a wrestler who has had an otherwise unremarkable track record of winning matches up until recently. Oh wait, I basically just described Naomi word for word. Suffering succotash, this is an embarrassing segment. Shane fortunately intervenes to bring a level of sense and respect back to the proceedings.
Lana, with all due respect, the SmackDown Women's Championship match is something that you need to earn.
Such as Tamina over there, who has done things? Lana is understandably offended. Oh shit, is this another stew nod thing? Am I out of the loop again and all the kids are speaking in Russian sentence fragments? Comrade, parts of Yuri on Ice, Sean Connery in The Hunt for Red October. Well, that's your lot for this week, stew nods. Tune in next time where we'll be treating our great balls of fire to some abrasive affection. Until then, I'm the guy who ended this video and perhaps uploaded it to YouTube for you to perhaps watch. Doodle pip.